If you handed the smartest engineers unlimited funding and the most advanced machinery on Earth, they still could not build the Great Pyramid of Giza. We assume our computational power and top-down, process-oriented management make us superior. We break massive projects into tiny, isolated tasks, assigning each to a specialized worker who never needs to comprehend the final product. Look at these massive stone blocks, some weighing over 80 tons, aligned with flawless precision. The architects who coordinated this did not have CAD software or paper blueprints. They held the entire geometric structure in their minds, building from the inside out through a shared mental projection. We measure human evolution by our tools, assuming we sit at the apex of history. But in trading an astonishing capacity for collective vision, for atomized mechanical efficiency, we lost the ability to execute on a truly eternal scale. The ancient builders were driven by a specific impulse to answer cosmic questions, where we come from and where we are going. They sought to physically manifest a connection between the divine and the mortal, attempting to literally construct heaven on earth. Look at the intricately carved animal pillars in this site, erected over 11,000 years ago. A society of hunter-gatherers organized a massive labor force around a highly sophisticated, shared mythology long before they learned how to farm. They operated with a telepathy of purpose. Individual property and personal credit did not exist. The builders surrendered their individual identities to serve a transcendent goal. Modern capitalism operates on the exact opposite logic, fragmenting labor to maximize individual profit and isolating workers from the broader meaning of their work. Thousands of years ago, human beings organized massive societies specifically to secure cosmic meaning. Today, we organize labor exclusively to optimize short-term financial returns, leaving the individuals within that system wealthy in resources, but entirely spiritually bankrupt. The desire to physically construct a perfect world did not vanish during the Enlightenment. Instead of disappearing, that intense religious energy was absorbed directly into the apparatus of the secular state. Karl Lowith's concept of secularized eschatology argues that modern political movements of progress are bastardized versions of Christian salvation narratives. Divine providence is replaced by historical necessity. The state claimed that human logic and industrial progress guaranteed a future utopia. This shift traces back to Niccolò Machiavelli and his focus on the effectual truth. Effectual truth is the idea that the practical results of political actions matter far more than the moral ideals behind them. Machiavelli abandoned the ancient quest for cosmic equilibrium in favor of a ruthless, mechanical science of power. The human drive for transcendence was successfully weaponized. The quest for salvation was stripped of the divine and transformed into the ultimate intellectual justification for absolute earthly political control. In the 20th century, this secular machinery met what political theorist Hannah Arendt called the break in our tradition. The historical truths and shared narratives that once bound societies together collapsed, leaving a massive void of human meaning. Totalitarian leaders exploited this exact void. Look at the absolute geometric uniformity and mass coordination of this crowd. This is the physical manifestation of what Arendt termed a lying world of consistency, a supreme fiction manufactured to replace the chaotic reality of human life with the absolute authority of a single leader. Maintaining that flawless consistency requires absolute terror. To keep the illusion intact, the state must eliminate human plurality, the natural diversity of thought and action, and instead treat human beings entirely as biological material to be molded into one singular, inflexible ideological vision. By attempting to forcefully engineer a perfect heaven on earth through bureaucratic terror, these modern political systems did not build transcendent temples. They built vast, inescapable mechanisms of total human domination. There is a distinct progressive counterargument to all of this. Didn't discarding ancient religious dogma free humanity from theocracy? Didn't stepping away from mythological visions give us human rights, modern medicine, and the scientific method? From this perspective, prioritizing raw data and strict rationality over collective religious visions is a necessary maturation of human society, a vital step out of darkness and into objective reality. Yet consider the actual endpoint of that purely rational logic. Look at the immense grid-like layout of this facility. It is a triumph of process-oriented management, organizing labor and science with flawless efficiency, specifically to build the atomic bomb, a device capable of world-ending destruction. Modern secular rationality successfully dismantled ancient superstitions and localized religious violence. In its place, it perfected the bureaucratic machinery required for total global annihilation. We are left living in what Arendt diagnosed as the agitated now. It is a period defined by deep geographic dispersion, acute loneliness, and profound spiritual isolation, where the continuity between past and future is broken. Modern capitalist processes have thoroughly dismantled the public realm. The public realm is Arendt's term for the shared civic space where individuals come together to debate, act, and secure earthly immortality through collective memory. The psychological toll of losing that civic space is severe. Modern citizens function as isolated cogs in a sprawling economic system, starving for a narrative connection that the rigid machinery of society is incapable of providing. This brings us to the ultimate danger identified by Arendt and the poet W.B. Yeats. Without a shared imaginative vision to anchor a society, the center cannot hold, leaving atomized individuals desperate for meaning and highly vulnerable to authoritarian illusions. We possess technological power that ancient architects could scarcely comprehend, yet we exist almost entirely without purpose. Until we reclaim the capacity for collective imagination to build a shared, meaningful reality, we will remain trapped inside the architecture of our own power.